Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for June 30th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, will you call our first case, please?
In cause number 2018-0D03091, State of Texas versus Gerardo Campa. Announcement of counsel, please.
Raul King for the state of Texas. Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Daniel Avalar for Gerardo Campa. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. And I believe we were here. I was briefly looking at the case summaries. Is this the gentleman who is already, we've gone beyond the year and he's done with his probation? Did he have another case outstanding? Had he picked up a case that we have scheduled for trial, or is it just a probation case?
No, that the court's correct.
We do have another case, Your Honor. It's a DWI, third or more.
Yeah. So when is that one set for trial?
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Does that
Okay.
sound right? Or is it in August? It's coming up.
Let me see. And again, I'm working remotely, so limited. In fact, if you'll give me a second, because I think I need to do something on my computer.
It's set for July 29th.
Okay, sorry about that. I mean, ultimately, have you all discussed the new case? Or are we looking at a trial?
Your Honor, we have, I believe, I do see that defense did file a motion to suppress back in February. Kind of also discussed that regarding kind of the body cam and catching the stop. And so I have put a recommendation on there, but it also depends on, of course, the probation case.
What is the rec just with the new case standing alone?
Your Honor, the rec was going to be, it's either time, but if we continue, the time would be 2 TDC for both cause numbers, or if we extend the probation case, then it would just be 5 years straight on both cause numbers.
So I don't think we can extend anymore on the old case. We're only deciding whether we dump the whole rebel track or we revoke him. And that's why, if memory serves, I don't know, maybe Carla, you remember, is this the one that when COVID hit in terms of his probation case, he ended up getting out on a bond and we kind of lost track of him? I think he was in Judge Garcia's court. Is that right? Is this, I believe, Mr. Campa? No, he's not, Denny?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah. Leslie, okay. The clerk is telling me, and I gotta think that that's Marissa back there. Her memory is really good on Mr. Campa because he's somebody that right when COVID hit.
Your Honor.
Monday.
Yes, this is Marissa. So yes, Mr. Campa there was a motion to adjudicate that was opened in 2019, and he was picked up on that motion in the I believe April of 2020 or March of 2020. And they were doing the referral dockets, and it was Judge Garcia who put him on a PR bond. So we did lose track of him until later that summer. And then the motion was, he was extended, and the motion, that first motion to adjudicate was dismissed because he was extended. And then he picked up the DWI, and now we have the second motion.
And Judge, yeah, I wasn't his lawyer after that first issue that she's talking about. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not looking at my docket. What is he on probation for, Carla?
Morning, Judge. He's on for possession of controlled substance.
Yeah.
Which was originally, like Marissa mentioned, it was a 2-year deferred. He got extended. And then after the extension, he absconded again. He stopped reporting.
And he's wanting to continue, I mean, he's wanting to do probation, Mr. Avalar?
If that, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, my thought on just going forward is possibly if you're inclined, I mean, I don't really, at this point, really want to deal so much with the probation case. However, when I'm thinking of a potential plea, if it's to probation on the DWI, I feel like, you know, he's going to have an automatic 10 days ACOP. I kind of feel like I wouldn't take less than, say, 30 days ACOP, some type of jail commitment attached to the DWI case if you guys are headed plea route. If not, then I'm going to set the revo at the time, probably the week after, let's say early August, after the trial on July 29th. And I'll deal with his revo after we do our trial. So what I'm telling you, Mr. Avalar, is if your client is maybe in a better place and thinks he can do the probation that is attached to his DWI third, the court is going to look at the day's ACOP in terms of some resolution on his probation case. If there are issues you all need to like if it has to go to trial, you know, you have a motion to suppress outstanding, that needs to be scheduled like ASAP if you need to proceed on your motion to suppress. And so you need to let us know that. And if we're going to trial, then I'll just put the probation case for immediately after the trial.
Okay.
Monday.
I want to say the DWI that's pending is the driving with a child under 15.
So the facts present that, but he wasn't charged with it.
We changed the charge.
They went for the 2 to 10 route instead of the state jail route.
It is a third though, right?
It's a third.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, Judge.
You mean a DWI third or a third degree?
I mean, is it a DWI third?
It is a DWI third.
Okay, and then he had a child as also allegedly. So I don't know, Mr. Avalar, it's kind of be on you. There's only really.
This case.
I'm not gonna say there's only one route for me on the probation case. I'm not inclined to just dump the probation case. There's gonna be some consequence on that probation case.
That's what I needed to know from the court. I think that's gonna help me and Roa decide what we do from here on out. We'll have a conversation.
You have less than a month to figure that one out. So we need to set the probation case for a contested revocation hearing 1 week after the trial.
Since we're at it, Judge, can I just get a suppression hearing now de una vez?
Sure, Myrna, if you'll look for a good date. July's really crazy, so
Right.
I'm not gonna even try and quote you anything, but I'll let Myrna find a good time. It has to be in person. And yeah, it's probably gonna have to be before the 22nd because we have Mr. Baez on the 22nd.
Roa, yeah, let's talk. You wanna do that?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Who's next?
Y'all be safe, okay?
You too.
Bottom of page 2, Judge.
Who is it?
In cause number 2016-0D02629, State of Texas versus Heidi Gutierrez in a non-disclosure. She's in the line. Let me bring her in. And a counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
John Slattery for Heidi Gutierrez, Your Honor.
Okay, and I believe Ms. Gutierrez is still connecting to audio. It looks like she's connected now. Is that your client, Mr. Slattery?
Let's see. Yes, that's right.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Gutierrez. So we're here on your petition for non-disclosure. Mr. Slattery, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I know we got the non-disclosure on her misdemeanor, but the felony is still open. It was, I believe, 8 years ago now, and so we were hoping to just get the non-disclosure pushed through.
Ms. King, do you show anything in terms of the now criminal history, any rearrests or any outstanding cases?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
And I guess, have you looked, or are you telling me there's nothing there, or are you telling me you haven't looked? I'm not sure I understand.
You cut out for 1 second, Judge, the last part.
Did you actually look at the criminal history up to date, or is
Yes,
that-
sir.
okay? And there's
There is no, I didn't see anything. I did look. As far as traffic tickets though, I am not 100% on that.
okay. What's the state? Does the state have a position on the non-disclosure?
The state is not opposed, Your Honor.
Okay, then the non-disclosure will be granted, Mr. Slattery, just to expedite things. If you would send the conforming order via email to Ms. Hernandez.
Sure,
for my
absolutely.
signature.
Thanks. I'll have SF do that. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you,
myself and
Judge.
My client excused.
You are. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you.
Erica, was my audio bad?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's like you just had a pause for a moment, but you finished the same sentence.
Okay, thank you. All right, who's next?
On page 4, Judge, bottom of page 4, in cause number 2020-0D0-5788, State of Texas versus Peoples, Marcus Peoples, announcement of council, please.
Well, King for the state of Texas.
Alyssa Nava on behalf of Mr. Peoples.
Okay, and what are we scheduled for today? Let me pull up.
For a status, Your Honor.
Okay. This name is so familiar to me. Give me a second. It's just one case?
So he's currently on probation. He picked up a burglary of a habitation, Your Honor. It was my understanding when I was appointed that they were waiting for the burglary to be indicted. I filed a motion for examining trial to make a decision as to whether he was going to stay on probation or not.
He's in custody?
Yes, Your Honor, and the case just got filed, or at least I just got notification that it was indicted yesterday.
Okay. What's the date of offense on that?
That, off the top of my head, I don't know.
March 29, 2022.
Okay. I didn't see this one, Carla, in terms of any kind of probation summary.
I do apologize, Your Honor. I didn't receive one. I have the last one. I can send it to you. On this one, Judge, we were here a couple weeks back, and the recommendation that the probation officer had on the summary was safety reentry program, and we were kind of wondering why the safety reentry program, and you had asked if we could screen the case for BHRTC. Just a little background on Mr. Peoples. He's on probation for 8 years deferred for ag assault with deadly weapon and possession of controlled substance. He picks up the 2 new offenses, but besides that, there has been continuous drug use or not showing up to test. Does have positive testing for meth. And that's where we were at.
And I'm sorry, he pled when?
This was back on December 29, 2020, Judge. I'll go ahead and forward you the previous summary that I have, okay?
Oh, yeah. What's his criminal history like?
He does have a possession criminal history.
So before he,
There's a possession of marijuana less than 2 ounces that also has the same file date. It's in it's a P-file case. And then I also know he did have a criminal mischief that was dismissed. I don't know, that was part of the plea agreement, I believe, though.
Hmm. So not extensive. So basically he pleads on a handful of cases with us. And then now he's picking up new offenses, and he's got a drug problem. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. And I do know that he does want help. He does want to work the programs. And I know that a lot of people say that once they get, once they're back in jail, but I do know that he wants to try and.
So, and with that kind of, not extensive criminal history, he's never been through a treatment program or anything like that, has he?
No, it's my understanding he has not.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may add, he did, through probation, he did go through TAP, and he did complete TAP July 29, 2021.
Oh, well, he probably is someone who needs something more structured. Can we screen him from BHRTC, Carla? Can we go that
Yes,
route?
Your Honor. He did get screen judged since last hearing.
Mhm.
The officer did screen the case and he does qualify. However, we're just kind of pending the new cases. We need to.
Right. So now we have new cases, and now we need to know what's going on there. Does the new case have we received it already? Does it have a trial track yet? No. So let's get that one going, Myrna. Do we have a cause number on the new case?
I don't see one, Your Honor.
I don't think so, but let me check the email I was sent yesterday from the DA's office.
Yeah, I don't have that information, Judge.
As soon as we get that, let's just go ahead and track the probation case with the new case. I'm not sure how quickly the DA's office can look at it. If it's something where you're potentially looking at more probation, if it's not, out of this world, I would be inclined to send him to BHRTC overall on everything. And that'll be his shot, to get treatment, get him squared away, and see if we can get him to successfully come out, complete his probation without any more issues. I don't know why I was thinking maybe he had an extensive history. His name is so familiar to me. Yes, Ms. King.
Your Honor, for the possession of marijuana, the date of offense, March 31st, that was actually declined.
Okay. So we've got a burglary hab new case. So let's go ahead and get that squared away in the event. I mean, I got to think we'd be back here in about 30 days on at least an arraignment, if not maybe sooner. So let's just put the probation case for 30 days out. And as soon as you see that new case come in, Ms. Hernandez, just attach it and let's get our trial track going. Okay. Ms. Nava, if you need something before then, let us know.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Ms.
All
Nava
right.
also has an arraignment with Enriquez Gabriel.
Okay.
And Your Honor, we did file the signed waiver of arraignment last night, and it was accepted this morning.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Unless Ms. King has a rec, if that's all you have, we're good to go.
I don't have one, but I will update you, Ms. Nava.
Thank you. I appreciate that. May I have excused, Your Honor?
Yes. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Who's next?
Back on page 3, Judge. Let me bring the Mr. Cooley. In cause number 2018-030-3237, State of Texas versus Noel Cooley. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
And Myrna Pages from Mr. Noel Coley, ready, Your Honor.
Good morning. And I think Mr. Cooley has now connected. Oh my goodness, looks like Santa Claus. He's working. Yay. Hi, Mr. Cooley. Good morning. All right. So, Carla, I'm afraid if I switch out from my Zoom, I might have a bad connection again. So can you give me the summary? I know we've been here, and I think I was looking at some ACOP days.
Your Honor, the last hearing held was on June 2nd. And we had been where Mr. Foley needed to get the alcohol monitor.
Right.
And up to date, there is still no alcohol monitor, Judge. He has been referred to attend his, through TAP, he was referred to attend Ozark. Since he did have private insurance, he was referred. He has been provided with appointments. However, Mr. Coley hasn't attended those appointments. He's missed those appointments.
When were they?
There was one for 6/15/22. On 6/17, Mr. Coley advised TAP counselor that he overslept due to his meds and missed the appointment. He said he was given a different appointment, but he wasn't able to provide the date to the TAP counselor. So that's where we're at with those appointments. I understand, had an update from an email, Judge, from the officer letting me know that he finally had contact with Mr. Coley. But I guess the issue has been that, well, it's a good thing that Mr. Coley has obtained employment, but that's where we're still in transition of him getting the monitor, and he's lacking appointments.
Mhm.
So it's a good progress that he has employment, but we're kind of still back where we were a month ago, Judge, almost a month ago.
Ms. Pages.
Judge, so I don't know, I had no idea he had obtained employment, so I'm very happy for him. As far as that, I'm not sure if his meds perhaps need to be adjusted, if he's indicating to his TAP counselor that he's oversleeping. I don't know if it's an issue of the dosage that he's receiving. I would need to talk to him, possibly have him go back and be reevaluated for that, Judge. I don't know if the court wishes to speak to him, find out what's going on with respect to him missing.
Ms. Pineda, what are the upcoming appointments? The exact dates and with whom?
I do not have that information, Judge. The last notation is that on 6/17, Mr. Coley advised the counselor that he overslept and was given a different appointment. But Mr. Coley didn't have that appointment available, and I don't see that the officer has that information, Judge.
Mr. Coley, when are your appointments?
I had my Ozark appointment for the alcohol class. I had that one. It was around last week or a week and a half ago.
Yeah, this is not working. That's what I think. I've tried to be cooperative with the different issues or difficulties you've had, Mr. Coley, but I'm pretty sure we were talking about days ACOP last time we were here. And I went ahead and gave you the opportunity to show the court that you could be compliant. And I'm not really willing to do that this time. So where are you working?
At Captiva Group, it's a warehouse.
And what are your work hours?
6 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon, or sometimes 6 to 6.
Okay, and this is Monday through Friday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
I do see in the rap history that there is an outstanding battery case out of Donna Anna. Date of offense is November 2021.
That has been, yeah, that has been dismissed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's something that keeps, for some reason, keeps popping up, and I'm a little less concerned about that, just because I think ultimately we had, we've reestablished, some contact with Mr. Coley and identified issues, and yet we still have, what's the deal on the monitor?
I couldn't afford it until I recently got the job. My parents, their money's all tied up, and I didn't have no one to help me. But I'll be able to get it within a week or so. Once I get paid, I'll be able to have it.
So I really don't want to hear any more excuses. I'm not getting, clear dates. Whatever dates he has, let me just we're coming back in 30 days. If he doesn't have the monitor and if he has not completed all of his appointments, Mr. Coley, it's on you with your provider. If you have whatever your health provider is that is, working on your med situation, you need to address that. So
I'm
we're
sorry,
coming-
y'all. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I don't see what appointments you guys are talking about that I missed because I've gone to every single one of my appointments. It might have gotten rescheduled, but I went to them. I haven't missed no appointments.
Well, that's not what probation is telling me. And I don't really have, I'm not sure to what extent I have a full update, Carla, which is why I'm going to give you the 30 days to get with your probation officer. And if there are any appointments between now and then, if you fail to attend them, then you are going to be sanctioned. I also I'm hearing the issue is financial when it comes to the monitor. So, you're working and I expect you to have the monitor. So I'm not hearing that there's a delay from the provider. I'm hearing that it's your financial situation. And I'm not insensitive to that, but I also am not hearing that you're doing the other things. You're telling me different. I don't know, maybe the probation officer that supervises you has more information. We're going to come back in 30 days. 30 days on a probation status hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to make sure, so there are monitors now, because I know the last time there was a shortage. Are there monitors now? I just want to make sure that there are.
I have no idea. I mean, if what he's saying, Mr. Coley, you contacted a provider and they had a monitor available, but you just didn't have the money?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
He said they had recently came back up in stock with them.
Okay. So,
Your Honor, if I may add something and just remind the court, back it was in March, before Mr. Coley got released and all that, he had attended EHN appointments and he was referred but he didn't qualify to be in the MHI caseload through us, through probation. Therefore, as far as like the medication, I know Ms. Page just mentioned that, probation really, we haven't monitored that in the sense that he's not in the MHI caseload. But I understand, Judge. I feel like I'm lacking information for you. But I will have the supervising officer kind of update us on everything else as far as appointments, because that's what I have on the report.
Right, which is why, the only thing I mentioned with respect to meds and things like that is it's on him, Mr. Coley, it's on you. And I'm not going to accept an excuse of, well, I overslept, because the responsibility is yours to get with your providers and find out, if they can adjust your meds, if that's the issue or something else, because I'm not going to take any more excuses. You're either going to comply and go to your appointments. And I understand what you're telling me, that you've been there, but probation's telling me something different. Maybe they have an update and in 30 days, it's like, oh no, yeah, Mr. Coley attended everything. And then we're on track and you'll have your monitor and you're going to do what you need to do. But I'm not hearing that yet. And we've already been here a couple of times. So I'm giving you 30 days so that I have an updated report from probation and that you get your monitor and get squared away with everything else.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood. All right. Anything else?
Nothing further from us, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll see you all in 30 days. Mr. Coley must appear via Zoom. All right. Who's next?
Staying with Ms. Pages on page 4, for Mr. Lozano Christopher, probation status. In cause number 2020-0D04283, State of Texas versus Christopher Jesus Lozano. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
And Bernard Pages from Mr. Christopher Lozano. Ready, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me get an update, please. I know he had a lengthy summary, Carla. I think
I actually just sent Mr. Justin Escobedo a message that the case was just called. I know he was pending in a different court as well, but you can log on.
I don't know if Mr. Lozano is in the waiting room, Mr. Marujo.
No, ma'am, and I advised them to log in today at 9:30, and I haven't seen them this morning.
Okay.
So
And-
he
and
supposed to report on June at our status hearing in June. He had until 6/3 to appear. If no contact was made by the end of the week, bench warrant. And so did
think-
we hear from him? Hmm?
I believe back in June, Judge, when you gave him till the afternoon, he did report with Mr. Marufo.
Mhm.
So that was my understanding that he did report. I do have an email on that verifying that back in June, but it is tough getting a hold of him, and obviously having him here.
Okay. So that's where we are now. Carla, what were the issues with Mr. Lozano?
Your Honor, Mr. Lozano, we've had ongoing issues since March.
Mhm.
Mr. Lozano is, I believe, the client that was going to go to Harris County, but he didn't.
Yes.
He got rejected and he didn't go. He stayed, but he just doesn't comply with reporting instructions with Mr. Escobedo.
And didn't he have a case in Houston too?
I don't believe he did. Judge. I think he was just going to be transferred and then he came back.
Yeah, I remember Mr. Lozano because we went back and forth on whether he was going to stay or go or whatever.
Yes.
There's Mr. Escobedo. Mr. Escobedo, what do you have to tell me on Mr. Lozano? Because I'm pretty sure I want a bench warrant.
Yes, Your Honor. Regarding Mr. Lozano, Your Honor, I wasn't able to go in and make contact with him that week that he didn't report for his court hearing, Your Honor. We do happen to be pending his completion with the fees. We haven't had a restitution fee payment process for quite some time, Your Honor. But I did want to inform you that I have not made contact with Mr. Lozano, Your Honor, since
Okay, so let's have a bench warrant. Let's just take care of him. We'll get him. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I think that's it for me. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Escobedo, is that it for you too?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hope you have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Who's next?
Bottom of page 3, Judge. In cause number 2018-0D0-3475, State of Texas versus Ivan Corral. Announcement of council, please.
Roba King for the state of Texas.
Mr. Hernandez, you're muted if you're talking to me.
Sorry, Your Honor. Edward Hernandez on behalf of Ms. Yvonne Corral, ready to proceed, Your Honor. And
There she is. All right. So I assume we're on a probation status. I did read the report. Looks like we've had a few issues with the monitor, but in terms of her continuing going to her classes and treatment, she's good. So this has been an ongoing review. I didn't remember that we had PDs on her case. So probation, well, I think, Ms. Corral has had a lot of, I would say ups and downs, but I'd say mostly downs, and she's kind of been, battling through a bunch of different circumstances. Was there a recommendation, Carla? Was it an admonishment? Let me see.
Your Honor, where we're at now, since the last hearing and the last report that was submitted to you, we were trying to as far as a specialized caseload for her. She was modified and transferred to the substance abuse caseload. So she's now under that program. The only thing that I do see as far as a report, and I apologize, Judge, I know I was going back and forth with the two officers trying to get information on the report. I believe Ms. Corral is struggling with keeping up with her times that she needs to blow.
Right.
I have a list of missed tests, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I didn't get a detailed report as far as if she's just blowing late instead of just not blowing at all,
Well, so there on there, what I saw in the case summary was there was one full day, and these are recent, these are like in the past 2 weeks, one full day that she skipped. I think there was some issues also. I don't know if financial is probably the issue where there was they checked in with the provider. Ms. Corral, you look well. I don't know, Mr. Hernandez, do you have an update? Have you been able to speak with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client went through a bout of homelessness, but now has housing again, and that was very recent. It started in May, and that's probably where you're seeing the glitches. And it ended up affecting her ability to pay for the unit as well. But now she's paying it. She's got a place to stay. She's getting the $840 a month in SSI, so she's stabilizing. Your Honor, there is I don't know if the court saw it or not, but there is a totally unrelated criminal mischief case, in which the state in the misdemeanor court has offered 18 months probation so that she could pay restitution. It was actually an auto accident, Your Honor. Well, I wasn't able to access the felony portal record on the probation to see what the state's rec was. But if the felony ADA is willing to keep Ms. Corral on probation, then we could run that 18 months concurrent with the 2 years she has right now. And that way she can be making payments towards restitution and doing both at the same time, Your Honor. She is, well, without getting into her mental health exact diagnosis, Your Honor, she obviously has mental health issues, which is why she's in the Mahalo unit. She is getting her medication and treatment through Atlantis.
So I'll just be straightforward here. I mean, Ms. Corral, there's 2 issues. Number 1 is that monitor, okay? And that's because that's an ongoing concern for the court. So I need you to be compliant. I understand you are frequently having, financial issues, things like that. I understand those things, but understand that I'm going to keep bringing you back as long as I'm getting reports from probation that tell me that you're not 100% compliant. And the reason, especially for me, Ms. Corral, is because I think it's just a very delicate situation. And when I released you, I think it was at the beginning of the year, there was supposedly some concerns with family members and health issues. And I let you go to Austin, and that ended up being a very bad situation for you. And so everything to me is very delicate. I'm not sure, when you're doing okay, how long you're going to stay okay, and if you've fallen off track. So kind of going to your attorneys. So my message to you, Ms. Corral, is I need you to continue to do what you're doing in terms of treatment, but I also need you to be compliant on the monitor. I'm not ignoring the fact that there was 1 full day there that you did not blow, and then I have all these skips. You only have 3 windows. Understand, that's like the minimum for this court is those 3 windows. So if you're missing at the bare minimum, I'm going to interpret that you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to have to guess. I need you to be compliant. Going back to what you mentioned, Mr. Hernandez, unless I see Ms. Corral fall really off track, I have no intention of going the route of, we have this new criminal mischief. To me, I want to keep her on probation and keep her stable and give her the resources she needs to be successful. So I'm not looking that route unless Ms. Corral takes a turn and decides she just doesn't want to be compliant. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. In that case, what we'll do is next week we have a hearing on the criminal mischief, and we can do they were just trying to determine restitution is the only thing holding that up. But we will, if it's okay, put her on probation on the criminal mischief so that she can start doing that probation simultaneously and paying off the restitution.
How long, when did she term with me, Carla?
We have her through July 2024, Judge.
Okay. I don't know what that criminal mischief is about, and I probably shouldn't comment on it, but if they were inclined to include the restitution and stick it on my probation rather than give her more cases, you know, that would be up to the state. So, in any event, I am not inclined to bring Ms. Corral back unless I get a bad report from probation, because she needs to be doing what she needs to be doing on probation. So, Carla, I would just ask probation officer, I think she'd been giving me monthly reports without a hearing. And so
was doing it, Judge, and then it kind of stopped when it transitioned to the new caseload. But if you want to continue with monthly reports, I can cover.
And I don't need to have a hearing. Those monthly reports were really helpful. So we'll continue to do that. And if we're on track and everything gets squared away, then I may tell them they don't have to do that anymore. But yes, for now, yes. Okay, so we're good to go on Ms. Corral.
Thank you, Honor. And I'll actually speak to the misdemeanor ADA about the possibility of putting the restitution in this case and closing that one. I'll speak to him. If that's the case, Your Honor, I'll ask for a hearing on this one just to work that out.
Okay.
If not, we'll do the plea in the other court.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Your Honor. Counsel,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hernandez,
Yes.
you also have an arraignment for Shawnee Wainoa.
You're good to go, Ms. Corral. I'm going to go ahead and remove you. Right.
Your Honor, Ms. Shawnee was found incompetent through an evaluation done in misdemeanor court, and that case has already been transferred to the 384th. So we'd ask that this case just be transferred as well.
If you'll file a motion here as well, and we'll just get it transferred over, just so I have something on my case.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll walk it through.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Am I excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Who's
Thank you,
next?
Your Honor.
Bottom of page 5, Judge.
Mhm.
In cause number 2018 0D06649, State of Texas versus Steven Gutierrez. Announcement of counsel, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
Deborah Gavia, Adult Probation Department.
Was this a request on the bond conditions?
John Slattery for Mr. Gutierrez, Your Honor. Mr. Ortiz is still in, excuse me, in another hearing, but he was going to come and take care of this. So I was wondering if we could maybe wait.
Let me see. Yeah, he probably needs to. If you're not going to be prepared to handle it, yeah, because
Yeah, it might be a little out of my depth here.
we got some issues with Mr. Gutierrez, so we'll hold on for your attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone left? Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez.
I appreciate it, Judge.
Mhm. I thought we had one on was it on a bond condition? Let's see, was that for today? I could be wrong.
It's this one, Judge?
It is this one, brother.
Yes, to
Wants-
modify the condition.
He wants to travel, that's what it is? Okay, so is that right? Okay, so if there's nobody else